Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. Get away from arranging your burial service. Nicki Minaj's significant other, Kenneth Unimportant, put on house arrest in the wake of compromising Cardi B's significant other. That is precisely insane at the present time. Sitting around there, discussing fire emoticon. So it seems like the most recent show between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B is getting serious in light of the fact that Nicki's significant other just got put on house capture for undermining Offset. Furthermore, presently, Nicki is blaming Cardi for actuating the entire show for mists after her significant other was placed on house capture. Nicki went on Instagram attempting to revitalize her fans, to smack a survivor of her decision, since she obviously accepts that Cardi organized the smacking trick back in June, when somebody called kid administrations and dishonestly revealed that Nicki's child was being abused. Nicki Minaj is the survivor of 2 smacking endeavors at her Los Angeles home, and apparently needs to figure out who is accountable for them. So Nicki is currently utilizing what is happening to pursue her revenge on Cardi and Offset. Furthermore, she additionally blamed Cardi for calling the police since her new melody slumped. Nonetheless, Cardi has now terminated back, uncovering that she and Offset didn't report Kenneth for compromising them. What's more, it was really Kenneth's post-trial supervisor who put him on house arrest subsequent to watching his Instagram live. As such, Kenneth squealed on himself. Furthermore, Cardi is blaming Nicki for turning the story around to make herself seem like a casualty. Golly. There's a ton to unload here, so we should separate everything. She posted this video and the tune is one of her melodies, and it expresses something. I wedded AG. In the event that I advise them to pull up, they go, poom, poom, and do it. She advised them to do so. So the quarrel between Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and their spouses, Kenneth Trivial and Offset, has indeed been raised, and Nicki's significant other now needs to burn through 120 days on house capture for compromising Offset. The show began at the VMAs last week when Kenneth and his group recorded themselves outside Offset's inn, provoking him to come outside. Presently, one of Kenneth's companions guarantees that Offset DM'd him first requesting their area. Notwithstanding, it was subsequently uncovered that Balance just DM'd this man in light of the fact that Kenneth's companion had been labeling Cardi in compromising posts for a very long time, paving the way to the VMAs, so Offset DM'd Kenneth's partner, deriding him for engaging in ladies' business and getting some information about their area. What's more, accordingly, Kenneth's companion moved Offset to face him and suggested that Offset was a quitter for not looking for vengeance against individuals liable for departure's passing. Regardless, it's not satisfactory to assume that there was any squabble in the background of the VMAs. Nonetheless, Kenneth and his gathering went on Instagram Live, hanging tight for Offset in the city and apparently preparing to bounce in. The entire group can suck a dick. He Offset. Try not to make us put you off the set. You were frightened, kid. It's spur of the moment. Had you been frightened, kid? At a certain point, Kenneth straightforwardly undermines Offset, letting him know he will get ready for his memorial service soon. You're arranging your burial service now. It truly can't be explained with basic logic how Kenneth thought this was really smart, since this man is, in a real sense, waiting on the post-trial process, originating from his conviction in July 2022. Kenneth got a 1-year home control sentence, along with 3 years of probation and a $55,000 fine because of his inability to enlist as a sex wrongdoer in California. Kenneth had recently acknowledged a supplication bargain and admitted to not refreshing his enlistment when he moved from New York to California subsequent to marrying Nicki in 2019. Kenneth's status as a safeguard traces all the way back to a 1994 case where he was indicted for the endeavored paper on Jennifer HSU and carried out a jail punishment of over 4 years. So in any case, considering that Kenneth and his partner's live streamed the whole episode and Kenneth straightforwardly compromised on camera, the police didn't actually have to do a lot. What's more, Kenneth's post-trial agent promptly educated the court about Kenneth's moves. What's more, only 1 day after the video of Kenneth conveying intimidations to Balance became a web sensation, a government judge in Los Angeles forced a house capture sentence on Kenneth, according to a court request made by Drifter. Kenneth needs to finish 120 days of house capture for abusing the states of his long-term probation, as indicated by the court archives. Kenneth's post-trial supervisor revealed him since he was recorded offering compromising comments towards a particular person while in the organization of somebody with a lawbreaker record. The court document further expresses that Mr. Unimportant's post-trial agent accepts arrangements in the area, checking project that will really consider the nearer observation of Mr. Unimportant's exercises, limit his developments, give an assent to his rebelliousness, and ideally urge him to consider and re-examine his ongoing status locally. In any case, Nicki is presently terminating back at fans, hauling her and her significant other, and she's faulting Cardi and Offset for affecting the whole thing. However, that is not it, you all. Nicki likewise endeavored to energize her fan base to coordinate a smacking occurrence against an individual she chose. So, to provide you with a touch of foundation on this, Nicki had recently been designated in a smacking trick, and she evidently accepts that Cardi was in some way or another engaged with this occurrence. Back in June, an unidentified individual made a bogus report to the kid administration, guaranteeing that Nicki's child was being abused, and that Nicki's occupant policing later let TMZ know that the sheriff's appointees answered Nicki's home, and in the wake of talking with Nicki and her better half and surveying the prosperity of their youngster, they reasoned that no wrongdoing had happened, and the charges of abuse were bogus. So after news broke that Kenneth had been put on house capture, Nicki shared a story on Instagram saying, "Points tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you all that smacking a home with a child isn't a crime. We should go #safeguard individuals of color now and then." And afterward, in another story, Nicki implied that Cardi was the person who called the police since she's frantic. Her most recent single, Bongos with Megan Thee Steed, was a failure. Nicki composed, "You can't call the police each time you flop. Just saying." Notwithstanding, fans rushed to get down on Nicki for utilizing the Safeguard People of Color hashtag, and they blamed her for being a charlatan in light of the fact that Kenneth's casualty recently uncovered Nicki for sending road thugs to threaten her and offering cash in return for her silence. On Kenneth's case, Kenneth's casualty claims she was reached by Nicki's partner, who offered her $20,000 to compose a letter saying that she lied about Kenneth attacking her. "This common individual offered me $20,000 to compose a letter expressing that I lied about what I did. I lied about Kenny blaming me." Also, since she would not take the cash, the lady said she began getting undermining calls from Nicki's hooligans, and they were even purportedly reaching her relatives and moving toward her youngsters en route to school. "I have moved since spring. I have moved multiple times because of individuals moving toward my youngsters. Presently, to the extent that for Cardi and Offset, it seems as though they weren't excessively irritated by Kenneth's threatening messages. Offset answered Kenneth by sharing a video of himself getting off a personal luxury plane and taunting Nicki's significant other and his team for being bankrupt and ridiculous. Pooh, he's amusing. Profound throat. Nonetheless, what upset Cardi was perceiving was the way in which Nicki attempted to fault her and Offset for getting Kenneth put on house capture. Obviously, neither Cardi nor Offset revealed Kenneth for anything, and this was subsequently affirmed by Legitimate Undertakings writer Megan Coonan, who initially let the cat out of the bag that Kenneth was placed on house capture for undermining Offset. Coonan posted a tweet that read, "Likewise, the outstanding post-trial supervisor and judge didn't require an external report." Counterbalance and Cardi didn't actually appear to mind. Counterbalance lolled about it in a video as he strolled off a fly. I think while going to express hello to Deion Sanders at the Colorado game, and afterward one of Cardi's fans answered, saying thank you since they're most certainly attempting to flip the story like this. Man didn't do what he did on Instagram and label each blog in it, be frantic at him and his companions. That is when Cardi chose to end her overall quietness, and she answered the fans' tweet by saying precisely, "Keep me out of your effing mouth, my man." And keeping in mind that what is happening has certainly separated the web with Points and the Barty group going arguing furiously. The vast majority who have a place with neither one of the camps are saying Nicki has nobody to blame except for herself since she married somebody who failed to help. Her butt continues to humiliate her. One Twitter client remarked on the video of Kenneth undermining Offset, saying that Cardi and Offset squealed when the whole world saw this, and the number to report this to his post-trial agent likewise turned into a web sensation on the web.